Hi Gemini. This is your Aquarius season, February 2024 reading. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. And the extended reading will be out, give it about 24 to 48 hours before it officially comes out on Patreon, and then about a month before it comes out on YouTube. It's taking me a while to get situated because we move shit around a lot. So just bear with me. Okay. So this reading, I just finished up, well, not just, but I finished up the Libra video, and I realized something about air signs during air seasons. That it's always beneficial to learn more about, I feel, about your element when you're in another sign that rules the same element. So what Aquarius shows me is that, and I don't always recall having such a relieving Aquarius season. Sometimes Aquarius season for me can be extremely detrimental, and we'll see by the end of the month when everything moves into Aquarius. We'll wait till then to assess, of course, but we're in it, we've been in it for about a week already, and it's interesting. I think for us, it can give us a lot of perspective this month, especially on things that we really want to decide on, but really do need some kind of perspective. We need some kind of, and I say we as in air signs, we need to move things around, right? So it's possible that from the get-go, you may have a moment with your ego, or a moment where someone, or a moment where you realize what you need, and it's maybe rooted or centered around the ego, around communication, around how you communicate and how you want to communicate moving forward. There's also, for some of you, you're going through this moment where, and we all have this moment, but it looks different, of course, where you are realizing that what you need now is somewhat of, and even directly the opposite of what you've been needing up until this point. You also may be moving on physically from a situation. But the most important aspect in this is the mental, maybe obstacles that you come to, or how you take what you've learned and really apply it to where it is that you're going next. You may feel like there's a lot to carry in this moment, especially if all of this does root back to a part of you that has been protected and protecting yourself from what maybe you've seen before. This decision may also bring you back mentally, internally, to a moment, to something, maybe a move, something you've already done in the past. So this move it's not that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying what's happening during this change of course, this change of direction, is an exact result of what happens when you soften. So you're like the Queen of Swords, and you're talking about softening. It's okay to have a good time. It's okay to be all up and, doing what you want to do and feeling how you want to feel. But you ever feel that, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I feel like I'm doing too much. I feel like I shouldn't have to, like, this even feels like it's going to run out. Like, this energy, what I mean. Like, is this just my ego? Is my ego having an up moment? And then all of a sudden you have like this crash because something settles in and softens you beyond the ego. And it's okay. Obviously it's okay to have a great time and, or just be, sometimes we're acting from that, whether it's happy, sad, mad, doesn't matter. Right. And so I'm not the type of person that's like, you don't need your ego, blah, blah, blah. Like, you do. It's literally your like human, like, mediator almost. And obviously we learn a lot from it. But this is also a part of yourself that you felt very confident about. And you're now, there's just this shift, and there's this vulnerability within this shift, but you're not unaware. You're very clear. And it looks like you're very sure of what you need, right? You're very sure that this change is what you need, and this moment is coming, because I think what's beautiful about you guys, and I've said this plenty of times, I hope you remember, is that the rawness in which you experience things, whether it's especially change, right? You're going through it. There's no other way, it's just going through it. So what maybe you find yourself either in the presence of or within yourself, this secure, natured part of you. It's within all of us. You can't be without it, right? I don't feel. But you find that it's hard to live out of this place. That maybe you close yourself off to sometimes. This is the Two of Swords. Maybe you close yourself off to this. And now it's almost like you can't escape it. Right? The whole point of this is to feel, experience, right? To go through, to gain something, to learn something. To also be a part of the relationship, not only with yourself, with the world around you, with people. Which brings us here. There may be someone who's shown up in your life and may have been a part of the cause of the shift internally with yourself and how it affects you almost externally and how you go about moving about your life. And through this, you find it within yourself that, and it can happen to the best of us. So if this has happened to you, like if you had an experience with someone and they seem secure, but then all of a sudden you feel like closed off, like just naturally, right? This could be a response, a trauma response, of course. And I would take a look at that deeper in a professional setting or with, in your own way. And I'm sorry if it is. But also there's this light on the other side because you're able to address how it affects your self-worth. Whether it's the opinion of someone that you're in a romantic relationship with, or someone that you respect, someone who carries a lot of weight, right? You also noticing how much access you're giving them to your personal power. This is, of course, everyone learns this in their own way, but the air signs are being presented with this in a different way. It's a very transformational time for those parts of you, in my opinion. On the other side, though, and the more that you allow yourselves to experience joy, the safer you feel experiencing these experiences. The more that you're healing that masculine side of yourself that appears in other people. Does it always have to be true? No. But that's what the cards are showing us. That Pluto is an air, and this is something else I thought of, which I think you would like, so we're going to talk about it. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus in modern astrology. I think that one makes more sense, but I think it's important to always look at the traditional ways of doing things, of course, and the way of seeing things, and that's just what it was. So Capricorn, right, I don't think people expect this, but Earth is feminine. Capricorn is feminine. And Aquarius is masculine air. So, but the combo is where it's unexpected, because it's interesting to me, because I would almost feel like the opposite, right? The Aquarius to me is androgynous. It's a very androgynous sign to me. I feel like all air signs are, but people have their own opinions about that. I think very much so they are. Or the sparkles and the playful. So the masculine and feminine don't escape each other, just the way that it's pronounced through them. So if you've ever met a Capricorn male, especially, right, a male identifying person, I find that their physiques are normally extremely feminine. They're sculpted so, whether they have muscles or not, they're just sculpted so weirdly watery, right? Why am I saying all this? Well, I think it's pretty interesting because it's like my own view of it, and I thought you might find it pretty cool, but also because it's that duality that one planet rules such different signs, but they also have so much to give and so much to offer, because they've learned, or they're learning the day-to-day and how to face the day-to-day all the time, and this part of you that is experiencing what I see to be a healing, especially around your heart. Your back might even feel lighter, especially if you have emotional releases. You might find yourself maybe laughing a lot, or needing to laugh, or finding an outlet in that way, or just feeling good about whatever it is that you're experiencing, knowing that it's positive. And the King of Cups and this transformation in this specific way could also bring someone into your life almost immediately, maybe unexpected, could be also a Scorpio. But I do think this is Pluto's influence about who you're going to meet now. The kind of experiences you're going to have now are maybe directed towards transforming this day-to-day experience. If you're a Gemini rising, then you will have Aquarius. If your chart is set up normally, mine is not, so I have to say this because I understand, then most likely your Aquarius will be in your 11th house. Your 11th house of, or no, I'm sorry, not 11th. ninth house, 9, 10, yeah, ninth house, sorry, ninth house. And that's your house of career and public persona, and there's more, and we'll get more in depth in that, but it's also about like how you see the world, higher mind, all of that. So the way you work in the, this could be changing and shifting the way you work in the world, but I do think it comes from an internal place for you. What beautiful, what a way to round out the reading. I mean, honestly, these all fell out together. You may want to really speak to the moon. Sounds so woo-woo, but you might want to be under this new moon and from the full moon. Maybe have a recognition because the moon is right under the sun in this placement. And then we have this in the bottom. And we'll take those out in the next part. The moon cycle coming up may be a great time to express your worries about receiving justice, right? Noticing what comes up when you notice why you think you're not able to be loved more. Why you think certain people, why you've allowed certain treatment, while at the same time people have done it to you, but there's an allowance there because there's something maybe leaky in your energy, we could say. Something, a hole that has not been loved enough to become whole, right? I know I've been a little poetic, this has been nice. But it's just such opposition, right? You experience the light to help experience the dark, or whatever that we deem to be unlovable, not enough, right? There's this center around accepting that and finding more play in that. Because of this transformation that's happening, there's nothing wrong. And I think I forgot who I was saying this to, but it's like that old couple, old woman, old man, old whomever, who can be just as serious and wise. And wisdom, I think wisdom comes in the form of play, while you also can be able to play and joke, right? Maybe not all the time about everything, but that's like, again, where our work is, of course. This is just how, what happens. I want you to notice what happens when you speak, whether what you want or your worries about you getting there into this existence, into a journal, talking to someone, literally just going outside, having a conversation with the moon, with yourself in a special place, sitting in meditation, wherever it is. I suggest that you find a ritual around Aquarius new moon, that you notice the insights you've gotten up until then, maybe the synchronicities, the feelings, even the pattern of your feelings over the course of the month, or maybe you get swept away into a deeper meditation, who knows. But this experience of unconditional love, right? The light that surrounds the moon, the sun is their aura. It helps them. It's the strength that they have. It's what they emanate. They can't help it. You can't help it either. And it's important to be able to love these aspects and be honest about your desires, because that makes them come in more honestly and in a way that makes sense for you, right? Not like around the back and it's like this thing that you're fighting for, but yet you're fighting from. And it's so strange to me when that happens, but we all learn somehow, right? So you may not want to face things head on this month, but you will, right? You may not be feeling the best, especially in your mind in the beginning of the month, but give yourself a few days about now to like really settle in. And it's important to recognize what is and who and how, and like what it is about someone that you allow, because it could start with their physical aspects or what they have to offer, and go into the internal and realize how it keeps you from experiencing more. The more that already has come to you, wants to come to you, is comfortable around you because your energy draws it in, right? it's this maturing into this change that feels so different and so real, because for you, it is that full experience more than ever. And during the course of the month, it's like the season has given you grace. And if you accept it, you'll see how beautiful this time can roll out even more. And we'll get right into the second part here, Gemini. See you next month.